Hi, it's Pete the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and this evening we have been playing this Escape Tales Low Memory from Board and Dice. What did we think? Find out. So, what is Escape Tales Low Memory? It is, as it sounds, it's basically an escape game, but it's more than an escape game because we've done a few escape room games now. This one has got a whole load of Choose Your Adventure too, so there's a whole story going on. We've only played the first of 3 parts of the story this evening. We're going to really try hard and not give out any spoilers. And basically, you start in a room, you have to move around that room.
No spoilers.
Oh. You start somewhere and you do some things, and basically that room is put down on the game board. It's 2 large cards that are put together, and you've got a grid. You can then choose to place action tokens on said grid with the map tiles on top of it, and that will lead you with a little map card that explains what each of those grid references to paragraphs inside the books that you're given. Turn to page. Paragraph 0132, like this. Thank you. So that's the first story.
Elizabeth Webber.
And some of those are absolute red herrings. They don't tell you much, although apparently some of them will have, and we found a few that did have some hints in there that would help us with clues later on. Some of them, though, send you through decks of cards, and in those decks of cards you'll find puzzles. You have an app that accompanies this game, and basically when you solve the puzzle, you put the answer into the app and it'll tell you whether you're right or wrong. If you're right, it'll give you another paragraph to read, and that'll take you to more and more cards. And the story starts to unfold and you get more and more involved in the story. And what was amazing about this game, and we really, really liked, is at the end of the conclusion of the first part of the story, we're all really wanting to go straight on and do the next one. So we cannot wait till the next time we can open up Escape Tales and play the next part of the story.
G'day, Aussie Phil. So, this is the rulebook. Low memory. This is Elizabeth Webber. She is the first case file, file 1. Now, as Pete said, you've got the grid, and usually it's 2 halves of a room, and you move across. And as you pick, say, B1, it'll tell you to go here. No spoilers. But it'll then tell you what to do, if there's any cards to draw, cards to get rid of, things like that. Some nice mind-bending puzzles to work through, and I think the combination of the 4 of us that are here tonight did really well. Was one where Andrew and I just went, you know what? You want a drink, Andrew? I'm going to get some drinks. So I got drinks and snacks while Pete and Ugly Dave the Grey got cracked on with that particular code. So we played off each other's strengths, and for the 3 hours that you're allocated per file, and there are file 2 and file 3, we cracked the first 3-hour code in 2 hours, so yay us, woohoo! But yeah, super excited now to crack on and get on with number 2.
Bearded Lady here, and Ov's artwork is lovely in this, as are the components. So those cards are really nice and thick, and obviously you've got these little wooden tokens. Now those wooden tokens, you only have so many of those in the game. And so you need to choose wisely where to place these tokens, because when you run out of the tokens, you have to take a stress card, and you get some more then, but different things happen and change, and it could affect future games as more and more stress tokens or stress cards are taken. Ooh. So how did I feel about this game? Well, I absolutely loved it. As Aussie Phil said, we got through the first session in 2 hours rather than 3. But even, let me just tell you, if you're turned off by the thought of spending 2 hours, that time flew by. It didn't feel like 2 hours. And when we reached the end of the section, I thought, this is only taken about an hour, because the time just seemed to fly by. Really like the theme of it, like this kind of working out different things. It's more than the kind of like exit gameplay feel that you get from those exit games or the unlocks. It's a lot more than that. It feels a lot more kind of like, well, there's a lot more story driven behind it. And of course, we've got 2 more stories to do, looking at it from different perspectives. So I'm excited, we're all excited actually, to find out which perspective we're going to be looking at it from, and what we will find out more from. And of course, we have made certain decisions in this first game which will affect as we go forward. So there's a little bit of kind of almost legacy-esque kind of feel to this whole game. So really excited, loved it, and looking forward to playing the next one. And actually, even if the next one takes 3 hours, I don't care, because this is such a good game.
Hi, Dave the Grey. I've played quite a few escape games. Usually you're doing puzzles that are cool, but they don't really hang together in any sort of necessarily coherent way. You're just moving from one puzzle to another, and there's a bit of a theme, but it's just a bunch of puzzles in the box. This was mainly driven by the story. So I'm old, I grew up in the 80s, choose your own adventure books, you know, that kind of thing. And that's what this feels like, is you're choosing the story as you go along, and there happen to be a ton of puzzles along the way. And those puzzles, to be honest, some of them were quite tricky, but none of them felt like you were just going to give up. And it's like, no, I've got no idea what's going on. Let's just start guessing. They all felt like you had to think a bit, but they were all quite doable. Even for somebody like Aussie Phil. You're actually guiding yourself through the story. And yeah, the puzzles are really cool, and they add to the story rather than just being the whole reason for the game. So when we got to the end, it didn't feel like any time had passed at all, really. It went really quickly. And yeah, we're going to be looking at possibly the same story from somebody else's point of view. I guess we'll find out next time. But I think we're all really keen to see how the rest of the game plays out, and who these other 2 characters are, how they fit into the overall story. So I know, as an escape type game, this, to be honest, is a cut above the rest. Also, speaking of cutting, one thing that I know a lot of people don't like is you're destroying a game in a lot of these things. This one, there's none of that. You could quite happily play the game, pass it on to somebody else. There's no sort of destruction of components, which is good because the components are really, really nice as well. So I know, absolutely top-rate game. Evening's flown past. Big thumbs up from me.
Crack on and do a number 2.
Hi, David Gray here.
Hi.
Thanks. Hi, David.
Just have a go, Dave.
Hi, David Gray here. I've played quite a few escape type games now, and this one. Let me put Aussie Phil in a different room.
Let me just check. Paragraph 142. No. Aussie Phil stays in the room with you.
See, hi, Dave the Grey. Hi, Dave the Grey. Hi, Dave the Grey. Hi.